All right, so we got a fun one today. I'm going to give an honest update on the profit that my dropshipping business on Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Shops has brought in, expenses, like how much I've spent on cost of goods, obviously, how much I've pulled in revenue wise, and what the total profit per each account is for the current month right now. So it's 610. I'll give you kind of like I guess, like a third of the way update on the current month of June and how that's going as well as last month. I always feel a little weird kind of recording these videos. I don't really like it's almost like, hey, look at me, like I'm making X, Y, or Z, and it doesn't really feel that right. Although two things kind of factor into the reason for making this video. First and foremost, you guys did say when I asked you last time that you'd like to see more of these. It's inspiring, it really helps, obviously, and you appreciate the transparency. So I'll talk about some things, obviously, that have been going well and some struggles that I faced recently with certain marketplace accounts and certain shops. And the second reason also is these videos are really easy to record because I can just kind of talk about what's going on in my business, give you the numbers. I'm going to pop the screenshots up on the screen for you so you can see them as well. They're screenshots taken directly from my Excel spreadsheets that I use and my VAs use to track all of our profit, all of our obviously expenses and everything, and all of the transactions in case we need to go back to a specific transaction, figure out where it was, how to actually go about refunding the customer or going through a return or whatever the case may be. So these are actual screenshots that I took literally a minute ago from all the specific Excel files. So we're going to cover them here. I haven't had a lot of time to record videos, and so this is a really easy video to record. I think it's going to be beneficial for me to get a video out, obviously, and it's going to be beneficial for you because it's going to be full transparency on exactly what you probably want to know. So first and foremost, let's go for this month. So it is the 10th of the month. Obviously, the numbers for today aren't in. So this is the first 9 days of the month across two of my Facebook Marketplace profiles and actually one shop. One of my shops, I'll talk about it, briefly for a second here, got shut down for the second time. So my main shop that was completely crushing it, doing my best account, got shut down mid-May. I guess it was mid-May because I went on vacation for 2 weeks. Me and my wife went on like our actual honeymoon. So we went on an initial honeymoon, and it's a funny story. This shop actually got shut down on our initial honeymoon after we got married because I kind of kept playing around with it. I turned off the what was it? Like I turned off the I guess I turned off shop, or I disabled shop on that specific thing. So like I disabled the marketplace on that shop, and it happened to be right at the time where Facebook was going through and like disabling people's shops because I guess they were going back and like redoing the process. And so I disabled it, and I was playing around with it on vacation when we were in Mexico on our actual honeymoon, because we didn't want to go through and like plan a long honeymoon. And when I came back, I found out that I couldn't re-enable it. So it was super annoying. And that led to the process of using another shop, but also kind of building out the amount of shops that I have so that I'm, protected across diversified shops. So I'm not relying on one. So that happened a while ago. Now in May for 2 weeks. So the May numbers that we're going to cover are also only 2 weeks of May. But for 2 weeks in May, me and my wife were traveling. We were in Italy for our like actual honeymoon. Even though we already took a honeymoon, we wanted to actually go away. But because of like, everything that was going on with the pandemic, we didn't know if we could travel overseas at that time after we got married. And on top of that, we also didn't really want to plan like a long, honeymoon after we just planned a wedding. So long story short, my shop got disabled again while I was there. I'm not sure specifically why I didn't. So I learned from the first time I didn't like disable marketplace, but what I did is I hid my shop and I made it invisible. And so for whatever reason, and I did this across like all my marketplace accounts and all my shops. For whatever reason, my main shop has been a complete struggle to get it back to visible. I've been going back and forth with support for 2 weeks on that shop now, trying to get re-enabled. On my other shop, the same thing happened. So like my secondary shop, that's now my main shop because it's my only like actual shop that's like really doing real numbers because like my other one got disabled. So my second shop got re-enabled because I was communicating with support for like a week or two. So all of that's going to be stuff that we're going to cover here. So The first one right here is let's go through June. So my main Facebook Marketplace account for June so far, again, this is only the first 9 days of the month, is $3,900 profit with an average margin of 32%. So a little bit under. It's usually around 40% on most of my products. I usually mark them up 40%, but after a lot of different things, sometimes it can be a little bit lower. Also, I didn't change all the Amazon Prime products that I had when I lost my Prime account. So sometimes I'll get an order that like the margin's super, super low, or I'm even losing some money, and then I'll mark that product up because I don't have access to Amazon Prime. If I've listed lower items, which I don't really do anymore in the past, and those sell, that could be what's affecting my margins now. Total earned for the month of June here in the first 9 days, because keep in mind today's the 10th when I'm recording this. You're probably going to see this maybe on the 10th or the 11th. So I've earned $16,507. I've spent $12,245, and like I said, the profit on that is $3,900 for a 32% average margin. It looks like so far, again, 9 days into the month, that's 211 transactions, as you can see here. So if we go to my secondary marketplace account, because keep in mind I have multiple shops, I also have multiple marketplace accounts. I don't use all of them like and scale them all up. I just have a couple. I scale a couple of them, and then the other ones are just there as backup in case something goes wrong with one of my first, primary accounts. So on my secondary marketplace account, I did 4,200, well, almost 4,300 earned in revenue. I spent a little bit over 3,200 and ended up pulling in $1,064 in profit so far in the first 9 months in the first 9 days of June on the second marketplace account. So not too bad there. Obviously, those numbers could be improved, but we are just kind of getting back into it after vacation and kind of getting stuff back up. So my second shop in June did so far in the first 9 days has pulled in a little bit over $2,500, and I've spent $1,700. So that's a profit of $814.88. So just on Facebook Marketplace and Facebook Shops in the month of June so far, if we add this up, I'll even just add it up on the computer with you guys. We have 814. We have 1,064, and we have 3,900. And so that's 57, it's almost 5,800 in the first 9 days. So if you extrapolate that 3 times, so we multiply that by 3, because again, it's only been the first 9 days. So there's, I think 30 days. Yeah, 30 days in June. So we'll assume that we'll take the low end spectrum of that. And we'll say that I only pull in $300 today across all my accounts, which typically I pull in a little bit more than that. We'll round that up to 6, and we'll obviously multiply that by 3, and that's $18,000 profit for the month of June across really only one shop and 2 marketplace accounts, because the other shop got shut down. So I'm pretty happy with those numbers. Obviously, they could be a lot better if my other main shop was doing what it should be doing. But across the main marketplace account, pretty solid numbers there. It's almost $4,000 profit in the first 10 days roughly. It'll probably be a little bit more than that after we get the numbers in for today. My VAs are currently working over there. And the secondary account, again, still kind of working on scaling that. But again, that's pretty solid. If we think $3,000 profit on that account, it's a little bit lower, but again, we're still back up scaling that account. The shop account, I've been working on scaling that. So those numbers specifically should be up a little bit more next month, I would assume. And hopefully in the next day or two, when Commerce Manager or the Facebook support for Commerce Manager gets back to me, that main shop will be re-enabled. And then finally, I'll be able to get back into my main shop, which was my biggest earner in the previous months, not counting May, which is when it obviously got shut down. So for the month of May now, for my main account for Facebook Marketplace, so keep in mind, again, this is only for 2 weeks in May because I went on vacation and I shut my account down. So realistically, it's probably a little bit less than 2 weeks because I shut them down 3 days before. So I get all the tracking numbers in and I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff when I was on vacation. And I also gave my VAs 2 weeks off, which they loved. So on the main marketplace profile, again, in just about 2 weeks, was $7,368 right there. So for the secondary marketplace account in May, again, for the first 2 weeks, was a little bit under $2,000 profit. We pulled in $6,500, almost $6,600, and we spent $4,600. For the secondary shop, so actually the main shop numbers here before I got shut down were almost $2,000 right there, and then it got shut down. So The numbers here are a little bit low on the main shop, but still, pretty good. This is the one that obviously I don't have access to right now, but I'm hoping that it comes back soon. About almost 6,400 was made, 4,500 was spent, and a little bit under 1,900 was profit in the first like week or two of that shop before it got shut down. So my secondary shop in May ended up only pulling in $283 because again, I wasn't really scaling this. And obviously, like all the numbers that I pulled up with all the screenshots, you can see how many transactions that kind of happen there if you look over on the numbers, because if you just take whatever number this is and you subtract it by 1 because that's like the title, column or whatever, the title row, then it shows 34 transactions here because it's 1 less than 35. So if we add up all those numbers for the first like 2 weeks of May, this is what I pretty much did in May, 283. And keep in mind too, I'm also dropshipping on other sites. I'm dropshipping on Mercari, I'm dropshipping on Poshmark, I'm dropshipping on Tradesy, I'm dropshipping on Grailed, dropshipping on Kidizen and Curtsy as well, which the 2 videos on Kidizen and Curtsy are going to be coming on this channel to kind of close out the series on like other places that you can dropship. I've already done videos on Grailed and Tradesy, which are 2 kind of up and coming platforms that you can drop ship on. I've also done videos on Poshmark as well if you want to check those out. So 283 on the second shop. On this one for May, it was 73.68. So plus 73.68. And I'm all over the place here. On the main shop, it was like 1883 plus 1883. And on the other one, it was, this is, FBM2, so that's 1934. 1934. And so in the first, like, realistically, probably, I don't know, 10, 11, maybe 12 days. So it was like the first 2 weeks of May, but then I did shut it off early. We pulled in $11,468 profit for those first like rough 2 weeks. So if you multiply that by 2 and you extrapolate that over the entirety of the month, I was on pace to do about $23,000 in profit for just marketplace and shops combined, right? That's not counting Amazon drop shipping, which is something that I do that's entirely different kind of setup. It's not counting Tradesy, Grailed, Poshmark, Mercari, Kidizen, and Curtsy as well. So that's the power of dropshipping. I wanted to give you guys full transparency. Obviously, these numbers aren't typical for a lot of people, but there's no reason that with like effort, you can't get there, okay? Now, I also rarely plug it, but there's really no better video to plug it in than this one. So if you want to, obviously learn how to do this, Facebook Dropship Pro is always linked in the description. It's $300. It's a no-brainer. That $300, like, I promise you're going to make that back and then some, obviously, after that. It really depends on if you're going to put the work in to watch the videos and obviously learn the content and then take action on it. But you will make that $300 back. I guarantee you that. That's, bare minimum. Will you get to these like $20,000 profit numbers? It's up to you realistically. I'm not saying that that's typical because most people don't necessarily get there, but I do know some students that have gotten pretty close. And I do know one student specifically that's absolutely crushing it and doing a lot better than me. So it is possible. The thing about the course too is I make the majority of my money actually doing the e-commerce and doing the drop shipping, as you can see in this video. I don't make the majority of my money teaching people how to drop ship. There's a major difference there between the two, right? And you can also see like the graph up on the screen, like not that many people join the course every single month. So I think my highest month was I think it was like April, which was 2.5K. And that's also revenue. So in $300 increments from people that are joining the course. So like if you join it, it's not like you're getting all the information that helps me actually make those numbers, right? I make the majority of my money doing the drop shipping, not teaching people how to do it. That's a major distinction. And on top of that, you're not competing with that many people that have this information. So it's not like it's out there for like thousands of people to actually act on this info as well. Not that many people join every single month, and you can be one of them. Keep in mind too that yes, I'm doing pretty well with this currently, but I didn't start here. I started by myself, and currently right now I actually have a team. There's 3 other computers over there. I have a team of 3 other VAs now. Last month, because I was away, I paid them $2,000, I think. The month before, so May, I paid them $2,000 total, like across all. So that's like half the month. And the month before that, I paid them $5,000. So I forget what the numbers for, June, May, June. I can't do April. So the month of April, I forget the specific numbers I pulled in. It was probably around 20 as well. So realistically, if you take what I paid my VAs out, I only netted $15,000 because I paid my VAs five, right? Last month, I think it was 23. I paid my VAs two because I was away. No, was it 23? No, sorry. That's if we extrapolated it. So if we divide that by two, because I was away for 2 weeks, it was 11.5. So if we take $2,000 out, which what I pay my VAs, that's $9,500 in profit. But keep in mind, they're pretty much doing everything. I got a guy processing orders. The other two guys are listing. And then after they're done all those tasks for the day, then we go about listing in bulk on shops, right? So if you want to check out, more videos on, how I've scaled up a team of VAs and how I've actually approached that, which, if you're in the scaling phase, it's really going to help you. You can check out the video up in the right-hand corner right now. That will pretty much be how I've, gone through the process of hiring people and scaling the business out and hiring, VAs to do most of the work for me, right? Hope you enjoyed the video, like I said before. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.